Hi!
Hi!
Welcome to the very first episode of Ring
Ring
Ring!
ring!
This podcast that takes you on what do you call that? A journey,
A journey,
a trip down memory lane,
memory lane, discussing pop culture,
pop culture references,
um,
nostalgia.
nostalgia. Anything a bestie conversation type of um
Podcast. Yeah,
podcast. Yeah.
and it's been a long time coming,
Yes.
and
We have tried
we
to
tried. Yeah,
pursue this podcast a couple of times already. Um, we've we're supposed to start this in February,
February, and now it's
up almost to the end of June. But it's a process.
it is a process. It's a gruesome process, but at least
We're here.
we're
We're
here.
trying.
We're trying, and
We're
yeah,
persevering.
again, welcome to our very first episode. Um, how do they call us? Just bestie
Just
boy and bestie girl.
bestie.
Bestie.
We're non-binary here.
We're non-binary. So I'm so excited to kick off our podcast with you. It's been a long time coming, and I can't wait to dive into today's topic, our very first topic, which is very relatable, and at the same time, it's very timely to talk about um, peer pressure, social media, and the roles of influencers in today's kids, today's people, today's
Generation.
generation. Yeah.
As if we're that old.
So we've all experienced that feeling of wanting to fit in, and especially with social media. So let's get real, as in REEL, and talk about how this all impacts us. Yeah, for you, what's peer pressure, and how did you deal with your own peer pressure moments, if you've experienced any?
I think peer pressure is everywhere besides of social media, but with today's generation, it's much more evident.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's proper to say that it's becoming normal to be peer pressured, or it's expected already to be peer pressured, most especially on social media, and it's becoming more um rampant, I must say.
Very, yeah.
Yeah. Um, with social media, I feel like majority of people at the beginning, most especially on Instagram, at the beginning, everybody wants to be an influencer.
Yes, even me, I
Yeah,
I wanted to
right?
become one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I believe it started really on YouTube.
Hmm.
The influencing really started on YouTube, and then it transferred on Instagram. Then now we have TikTok, and I believe Facebook is now monetizing.
Everything,
Yeah,
basically.
everything. I mean,
Yeah.
Facebook owns Instagram, so yeah. Um, well, at the beginning of the social media,
Hmm.
I wasn't peer pressured in a sense of I need to look good all the time, or I need to um have a good image on social
Yeah,
media.
present yourself with this perfect image.
Yeah, that's because I was living two worlds at that time when I was
Oh,
in high school.
Hannah Montana.
I
Yeah.
was having an Hannah Montana moment because I was on Tumblr all the time. I wasn't on um Facebook because at the time
You're not a
Facebook is,
mainstream girl. Mainstream social media girl.
yeah, that's like the mainstream social media in our country.
Hmm.
So I wasn't really that much on Facebook, but I was really on Tumblr. I mean, it started on Twitter, then I transferred on Tumblr, and I
Yeah.
felt much more comfortable on Tumblr than on Twitter at the time. And so, as you guys know, actually you don't know, but as you know, I'm such a fun girl. I love fangirling. If it's a job, I would be like the best employee. Or I would have like the best fangirl award all the time. I just love the fangirl. I started fangirling multi fandoms, and then One Direction happened, and I gave all to One Direction.
Yeah, shout out to all the what do you
All
call
the
yourselves?
Directioners
Directioners out there in the world.
Yeah. So I focused on One Direction
Uh-huh.
and created a community there, and then my Tumblr kind of blew up,
Oh my god.
having the Hannah Montana
Look
moment.
at this famous Tumblr girl.
Yeah. But the thing is, I preferred being not really known, but I preferred gaining friends and I guess attention through Tumblr rather than gaining attention um in real life,
Yes.
because it feels like I could have control over it. And so, I mean, I grew up, I mean, I wasn't famous or popular back in high school. I was a
Yeah.
nobody. And to have that kind of attention is a high. It's like a drug. Oh my god, I have that kind of,
That was a new experience for you.
yeah,
A brand new experience.
it's a new experience.
Totally opposite of what
Who
you
I
are,
am.
who you
Yeah.
are. That's
So,
true.
yeah, I was so excited to go home. Every time I go to school, all I was thinking, I want to go home. I'm so excited for class dismissal so that I can go home and hop on my laptop and go on Tumblr and just talk to random people. Like, they're strangers.
Yeah.
I don't know any of them, and we I we have discussions on Kick. I don't know if anyone remembers Kick.
I do.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, Kick. We have conversations on Kick. We Skype
Oh
all
my
the
god.
time. Yeah, that's how
You're literally an e-girl.
Yeah, I was an e-girl that time. Really an e-girl. And I was so into indie at that
And
time.
nobody knows it. Right?
Nobody knows. They only no one knows.
Nobody knows. Even your closest friends, they don't know about this.
They don't know that I was. I mean, they know that I was really into Tumblr, but they don't know
You're that.
the significance
famous,
of
yeah.
Tumblr in my life at that time. So yeah, and that's how um I was introduced on social media. And as for peer pressure, the only thing I can remember is I was pressured to act cool
Yeah. Right.
on Tumblr and to be engaging. And I wasn't an engaging person. I was an introvert. I believe everyone on Tumblr are introverts. And
I guess, yeah.
that's how weird it is because most of the people there are introverts, but they're acting like extroverts. Or if they're not extroverts, they're acting very
I mean, they suppress, or what do you call that? Suppression or repression? Suppression, yeah. They suppress this energy that they have socially, and then just let it all out, let it all explode online. So
Yeah.
it's kind of an outlet too for
Yeah.
those people, for introvert people.
I really enjoyed my time on Tumblr. As for peer pressure, I mean, it's just that I need. Well, it's not really a need because again, nobody's demanding me to be that. But it felt like I need to be cool,
Yeah.
to be friendly, to gain more friends, to gain more Because like in Tumblr, it's a weird but
it
now.
today.
I've never
Yes.
had an experience like that
Uh-huh.
on Tumblr. I mean, during my time at least. So I wasn't. Yeah, it was more of me creating an image online.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in a way, I was dissociating my real self online just because it felt like I could have control over it and I could create a persona that I actually want to be.
Yeah. And with regards to social media, it's kind of a, what do you call that? A double-edged sword. Because on one hand, it connects us to our friends and families, to even celebrities and influencers right now. But on the other hand, it can create this intense peer pressure to keep up with everyone's highlights, with everyone's achievements, with everyone's image. So, how do you think social media contributes to this peer pressure?
Well, again, peer pressure is everywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even though you're not on social media, it just depends on how you would let
Yes.
that pressure influencing all of your decisions
Mm-hmm.
or some decisions. Um,
But for sure, it amplifies, like social media amplifies
yeah,
the peer pressure that we
because it's
currently feel,
easier. It's
already
easier
feel.
to influence. It's easier to put on pressure on everyone. I mean, it's kind of weird because peer pressure usually it means being pressured among your peers.
Yes.
But on social media, it seems like everybody is your peers, and peers generally it means among your age group
Alright,
and
yeah.
among your generation. But on social media, all of the generation
Are your peers,
are
yeah.
your
Especially
peers.
those niches or same demographics as you.
Yeah,
Not just age wise, but with similar interests, for example.
yeah. If you both, for example, we both like the same band,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say I'm already in my 30s,
Yeah.
and that band, because that band, let's say that band is quite old
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
than your age,
Right.
and I'm in my 30s, and that band is also in their 30s, and you started liking them when you were younger, and now you still like them, you're in your early 20s. Of course, there's going to be a difference in um, perspective, in your environment, in how you see life, because you both grew up in the different
Eras.
eras or in different decades.
Yeah.
So when you meet online, you're it depends on the both of you who's going to do the influencing
The
or be
pressuring.
the
Yeah.
influencee. Of course, there's going to be difference in how you view your life, but since one is doing the influencing, you
Mm.
tend to get pressured in following what they do, even though that's not
What
how
they
you
do,
view your life.
yeah,
Because of course you might live in a different place,
what,
you grew up in a different
or
environment.
different even socioeconomic like
Yeah,
status, right?
exactly. And so there's this pressure in trying to be that kind of person, even though you're given in a circumstance
Yeah.
where you can't be that person because you grew up differently.
Yes. And let's be honest, it's kind of rooting from uh comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically it's comparison.
Yeah.
You see someone's perfect, for example, vacation photos
Mm-hmm.
or luxury things, bags, um, fashion stuff like clothing and style. So it you feel this pressure to match up with that on that level too
Yeah.
with your peers. So
But like also the thing is people people tend to compare a lot on social
for
media
sure, yeah.
because they
on something that is not even um should be considered in terms of their
But
life, for example.
yeah, and the thing is, it's weird because generally speaking, if you're not on social media, people are tend to be more forgiving because they understand
Yeah.
the concept of they're also a human being just like you.
Yes.
But on social media,
It's a different game.
it's a different game. It's like you have to be perfect. You have to follow different activism
Yeah.
to support
Exactly.
in order for you to be just right on social media, to be known as woke or um
Oh God, that term. Yeah.
it's different on social media because they have this unrealistic standards that even them, even those people who are demanding it on social media
Mhm.
are not living into it 100%.
Yeah, it's just practice what you preach. But I mean, there are some people who really shout to the world about um um activism against some brands, for example, right now. But they still get their commodities from these brands.
You know what's weird? Because we keep on saying social media. You know what's okay? Let me just say, like right now, there's um, an ongoing boycott in a lot of companies that support a certain country. Yeah, I'm just gonna name drop it,
You should, yeah.
Israel, and I get it because it's really raw. It's really crazy what's going on there,
Hmm.
most especially in Palestine.
And
There
it's
are a lot.
happening. It's
Yeah, it's
happening
happening.
right
It's
now.
real.
It's real.
It is real, and it's so sad what's going on in Palestine and um how much support they really need. And I truly appreciate the activism that is currently going
Hmm.
on social media to help amplify the amplify what's going on in Palestine and how much and how can we help them
Yes.
in terms of
I mean, in our own little ways.
yes, either be in financial or in
Just
spreading
spreading the news, spreading the support links.
it's real what's going on. But my problem is we're not how do I say this in not okay. We're not 100% going to okay wait. Let me just rephrase it. I truly believe in the saying we can be in every war, but we can choose our own battles.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And so
Hmm.
there are a lot of activism that is
Happening right now.
happening right now. Um, either be it spreading on social media or it could be in um just in in
In
real
real
life.
life.
But the thing is, I'm so sorry to say this, but there's such thing as bandwagon activism.
I hate that. I hate that.
It just means that sometimes when there is an activism that is currently given much attention
Hmm.
on social media, people tend to jump on it without really knowing what's going on.
Yes, because
They
it's
just
popular. Because it's
true.
their friends are talking about it. They don't know about it.
Just go with the flow. To be fair, they're doing a right thing. I'm not
Yes.
saying or I'm not
Invalidating.
invalidating their efforts.
Hmm.
I mean, thank you for supporting. But my thing is sometimes those people are the one who are aggressive on social media and they don't even know what they're talking about.
It's the hypocrisy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just tell you, Twitter or X,
Whatever. You know.
the owner supports Israel, and yet those people who are aggressive Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, if they keep on saying boycott this kind of companies, blah blah blah.
They can't even boycott the platform.
Yes, it works two ways.
Yes.
That's why we need to take a step back, read more, not just read the internet. When I say read more, read actual articles on what is going on, see the news,
Yes.
try to have conversations, communicate with people who are actually knowledgeable on what is going on, and not just rely it on the internet, most especially on Twitter, because sometimes things on Twitter are not
It's not the whole story.
it's not the whole story,
Yes.
or they didn't do fact checking.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to also have the kind of responsibility in yourself in knowing on how to demand people, hey, this is what's going on. We need your support. This is the awareness that you need to know about this um, situation. You need to prepare yourself. If there are people who's gonna ask you, you need to prepare yourself to be ready in answering the questions, in giving information that are actually true
Yep.
and have been fact checked.
I mean, that's
So,
very important. Fact checking things.
yes. And so don't be too um complacent on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because don't, and also the thing is, so aside from people who are bandwagon, joining the bandwagon activism, the thing is, other people are joining it because they're um afraid to be cancelled.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's our next topic, actually.
Yeah.
The next segment of this first episode. Yeah. Continue.
Okay. So here's my thing. I'm sorry if I'm rambling. I'm just like so fed
It
up.
grinds your gears.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, with bandwagon activism, the first thing is people tend to hop in because it's trending. It's what
They are
talked about.
bandwagoning, if there is a term for that. Cloud chasing. I mean, it's all engagements. It
Yeah,
feels
it's all engagement. I mean, to be fair, we need it right now for Palestine.
yes.
That kind of engagement.
Mm.
I'm not discrediting the efforts of people who are really for the awareness or for the support of Palestine, but I'm just saying that there are people who are not truly 100%. They don't really know what's going on, and then they just hopped on, and
Yeah.
then um, spreading information that they don't really have the grasp of. So that's the thing. And then second thing is people are scared to be cancelled and be
Uh-huh.
called out, even though they don't really know what's going on, and
Yes.
they're taking their time in knowing what's going on. And yet people are demanding, we need your support. We need you to talk about this. I get it. We really need it. We really need discussions about what's going on. But some people need time.
Yeah.
Some people need to sit down and actually try to grasp of what is going on because it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, hey, this is the information about blah blah blah. It's actually happening, and they need to grasp that kind of information for them to, oh, this is happening. I need to search about it. I need to check out.
The accurate details, the facts,
Yes,
before I go out to the world and spread this news, right?
exactly. That's just being responsible, and yet people are trying to speed up the process of being responsible
Yeah.
and knowing this kind of information. And so that's the thing. That's why a lot of people hop in on bandwagon activism because they're afraid that if they would take time, people would call them out and assume these kinds of support or these kinds of not giving support is
Mm-hmm.
because you didn't say anything immediately.
Yes.
So yeah, that's my
That's it for the peer pressure on social
my
media
50
right
cents.
now. 50 cents. Yeah. And, well, it really, it really is something that is happening right now on social media. And yeah, I think fact checking is really important. And I mean, we can talk about like influencers and the roles of influencers to peer pressure or to spreading news.
Mm.
So since they play a huge role, as you've said earlier, they play a huge role in spreading this awareness, spreading their opinions and thoughts on social media. So what's your take on like influence itself,
I mean, as life
its impact on social media?
as life is, sometimes life is chaotic.
It
Sometimes
is. Yes.
sometimes it is beautiful.
Hmm.
So it goes the same with everything, and that's also with what do you call this, influence
Yes.
or
And
influencing.
since they have like massive impact on social media, because they have the power to influence people on what to buy, when to buy, who to support. They often set trends. For example, they promote products, they promote awareness, and even sometimes they promote aggression and violence. Well, but with great, it's just like Uncle Ben. You know Uncle Ben.
Yes,
With great power comes great responsibility.
responsibility.
So influencers need to be mindful of the messages they're sending out. For real, like for real, real. I mean, not just or not just ordinary people. Um, what do you call that? They have this certain level of authority on people. So whatever they do, some people might um follow that, for example. So it's really important for them to start fact checking or just supporting awareness that they know they have a grasp on, really, because people will follow them whether it's right or wrong, right?
Right.
And yeah, I just really hope that they use or utilize their platforms for good. Because as you've said, as we've talked about earlier, there are some cases wherein these influencers are, I mean, nobody's perfect. So, but they have this power to influence.
See, here's my thing with power. It doesn't really necessarily, because I had this conversation with my dad before.
Mm-hmm.
What would he choose, power or money, or being rich? You'd always say power. That's because it doesn't really matter if you're rich, but if people will listen to you because of your power, you can give more impact than being rich.
Yes, I
And
agree.
that's how important it is to identify um the the influencing that is going on, if it is actually impactful, or is it
Promoting positive messages,
yes positive messages, or is it
causes,
promoting chaos, violence?
and unrealistic standards too.
Yeah, because there are instances that sometimes, because of the growth that they have, they tend to have more money, about it on social media, they forgot that there are other people also who are watching them. It's the same thought with life. Sometimes life is chaotic, sometimes it is beautiful. And so sometimes there are influencers who are actually spreading positivity, or even not positivity, but
Mm-mm.
you know, spreading awareness, spreading good vibes,
Yeah.
just being harmful and enjoying life to be general. And then there are influencers who are, as you've said, who are spreading violence,
Aggression.
aggression. And so we just need to also be aware
Yes.
in it's the same with how we choose friends.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be surrounded with the people that we we wanna have um conversations with, we wanna be friends
Yes.
with. Um, it depends on you if you want people who have the same values with you, or if you want people who have different values with you. So it just
Mm-hmm.
depends on your um personal choice. But at the end of the day, we have our own um our own mind
Yeah.
for for us to decide. So it's also useful if you use your own mind.
I mean, just use critical thinking. I mean, it's hard, maybe, or it's hard sometimes to use that, but it's really needed to what is happening right now.
Yeah, you just use your common sense basically.
Yeah. And going back to these influencers, they play like a huge role in shaping trends and opinions on social media. So they have a massive impact, right? They set trends, promote products, for example, and their followers, supporters look up to them for inspiration. And maybe this is also sparks peer pressure on social media for other people, because I really think influencers need to be mindful of the messages that they are sending out, because some influencers use the platforms for good, promoting positive messages, causes, supporting great causes. Others can contribute to unrealistic standards, and we talked about this earlier about consumerism.
Hmm.
So it's all about balance. And at the end of the day, for all the people who's listening, I really wanted to for you guys to realize that the power of influencers, those those powers came from you who support them. So,
So basically, it's just like the government.
mm-hmm,
You give the government power, and yet they do the influencing. They do the creating of laws, and so it's up to us to decide who to vote,
yeah, yeah,
who to follow. So just be mindful and use your common sense
mm-hmm,
and align yourself with someone that would feel like you would want to be your friend.
you want to be your friend, yeah, and they are kind of a role model. If I think it's really toxic. I mean, personally, from personal experience, some influencers are, for me, I take them as toxic influencers because I follow them initially, and um, as time goes by, I realize that they've become inauthentic, and not not transparent to their supporters already, and they've set this high standards that me myself cannot, like, what do you call that? Achieve that as well. So just choose who you wanted to be influenced by. So I think we'd love to hear from our listeners as well. How has social media influenced your life?
Mm-hmm.
And have you felt peer pressure from what you see online?
Yeah. So
Just share your thoughts with us.
we initially wanted it um to have our own colors, but since this is our first episode,
Yes.
so just commented.
Share your thoughts with us. There is a comment box below. Share your thoughts with us on our social media channels. Ring Ring Pod.
Ring pod.
Yes, and just send us a message.
Yeah, we would love to hear from you.
Yes, definitely reach out. We want to make this podcast really a conversation.
Yes.
It's Ring Ring. It's a conversation between friends.
And by the way, we wanted to create this podcast um for us again, as what he said, that we wanted it to be a conversation, and so you don't have to totally agree with us.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, um we need to have an active conversation here. And
Mm-hmm.
so to have that, we need to hear um more ideas, because we're not here saying that
We're not experts.
experts, but we just really wanted to have a space where we can lay down our own ideas, our own opinions, to create conversations that matter, that is actually progressive. And so, um, yeah, share your thoughts
Mm-hmm.
below on the comment box.
Yeah, if you have like personal experiences with peer pressure, social
Mm-hmm.
media peer pressure, and influencers, personal experiences with them, good or bad, you can share that with us.
And
And
we will try to reply. So,
for sure, yeah,
to be more
engaging with you
engaging,
guys.
yes.
And before we wrap this up, maybe we can share some tips maybe on resisting peer pressure on social. So I think for me, my top tip would be follow those influencers. Follow only social media accounts that inspire and uplift you, and don't be afraid to unfollow or mute accounts
Yeah.
that make you feel bad about yourself.
And that just goes with everyone, though.
Yeah.
Not just the influencers. So if you feel like you have friends who are um sometimes being
Toxic.
in their toxic era, you can meet them.
Yeah.
I hope you can also meet them in real life, but
We can't do that. Unfortunately. Not right now, but in the future, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, you can also do that with your friends, or if you're confrontational, you can
confront them,
Yeah.
right? And I'd add maybe taking regular breaks from social media. It really helps for me.
It really helps.
Yeah, it do wonders for your mental health. Because I sometimes do social media detox myself, and it really helped with resetting or gaining some perspective. Because I sometimes feel like it's very toxic online, where I compare myself to other people. Um, it's just not healthy for me to stay on social media for so long, for too long.
You know, I did realize that social media detox is actually important. When I was in my era where I was really into aggressive activism.
Yes.
Before, when I was in college, I was really, I was really getting into people's face and shove it in their throat. You
Yeah.
need to believe this. This is the
Mhm.
right thing. I realized that it can be taxing.
Yeah, and kindness goes a long way
Yeah,
too.
and so I realized that it was about spreading awareness.
Mm.
I I I internalize those emotions, and so
And you
I
forget
I was
that.
really depressed because of what is going on and how people are
Yeah.
not listening.
But yeah, we can't really force everyone to
Yeah,
to
that's how I learned that sometimes people have their own beliefs, people have their own cultures, people have their own religion, and as much as it's so, you know, the right thing is so obvious right now, but you can't really see it if you're blinded by your own beliefs.
yeah.
So my tip for that is to have a perspective that there are other people who is different from your own perspective. So for them to learn, getting in their faces, shoving it in their throats is not gonna work.
Yeah.
So what I do is planting a seed of information day by day for it to bloom and prosper, for it
Yeah,
to
take it
be,
slow. Take it slow,
yeah,
right? And remember, regarding peer pressure as well, you don't need to compare yourself online
yeah,
all of the time. You don't need to confirm what you see online because your worth isn't determined by likes or follows unless it's giving you money, of course. But do the right thing. At the end of the day, do the right thing.
yeah.
Do
That's
what you
the
think
right
is
word.
best for both sides, not just for greed or something, but yeah, don't be peer pressured. I mean, that's easier
Actually,
said
I mean,
than done,
yeah.
but it's not worth it. It's not worth it to lose yourself in the process. And yeah, clean up your social media feeds, please. Well, that wraps up our first episode of Ring Ring.
I really truly hope that we can get callers eventually just to sustain
Yes,
our
please.
mission for this podcast.
And we hope you enjoyed our discussion on peer pressure, social media, and the roles of influencers. Thank you again for tuning in,
Tuning in, for listening to
for
us.
listening, and for answering the call.
Call.
And we have so much more to share with you in the coming episodes.
And we truly hope to hear more from you guys. Continue the conversation down below.
This is entitled, the episode is entitled, Let's Get Real. Until next time, remember to stay true to yourself and keep it real.
Keep it real, for real, for real.
For real, for real. So don't forget to,
Of course, follow us on our social.
yes,
Follow us on our socials. Everything is Ring Ring at Ring Ring Pod.
and subscribe to this YouTube channel.
We'll give you a call next time.
Next time. Bye bye.